Wow, wow, wow. Risers, we're back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
You guys already know. You guys know we were coming back. We stay out of the building maybe for 5, 6 days, okay? Because we've got real lives, like we told you guys. But now we're back and we have more guests.
mm,
Oh, you thought we meant one or two people when we said we had people. Wow. No,
mm,
multiple,
yes,
multiple people. Listen, today we're taking it to therapy. Oh, you heard me. Somebody mad in the back row, Miss Sound. Tell them to settle down.
calm down. Y'all better calm down back
I'm
there,
just saying,
okay? Or,
black
or
people
this,
do
our
therapy too.
therapist gonna help you calm down, okay?
Yeah,
That's what we better.
yeah. Black people do therapy. It's 2024. Get it together. We love you.
Yes, we do.
We love you. But we have someone here that's gonna take us to therapy. I didn't say the church. Mm-mm. No, I didn't slip to therapy
Yes.
because we all need it. I might need some today. Because Miss Sam would tell you I had homework to do just before we came on. Okay. I'm
Yes.
grateful to be here today. Hey,
Come on,
hey,
somebody.
life was life in. Is that what Miss Sam said? Y'all know. Y'all get in a
Ooh,
t-shirt.
ooh, life be life.
Did we just
Okay.
steal your life, Miss Sam? So listen, we have with us the CEO and founder of Healing Works. And I'm going to let her introduce herself so that you will get to know who she is, what she's got going on, and why she's here. But let me tell you this, she has LMFT and LPC behind the surname.
Come on.
Okay. Y'all know that means professional
Put
credential.
some
Hey,
respect on her name, okay? That's what y'all
with
need
some
to
respect. All right.
do.
We're going to leave it there. All right. All right. We had to do it. So she's here with us. And what we're going to do after the word of the day is that she's going to introduce who she is. And I want y'all to listen and I want y'all to respect and I want you all to have an open mind. So we're going to have Miss Sounds, Spa Voices back in the building.
Hey, y'all.
Light the fireplace now.
Yes.
So Miss
Yes.
Sounds, take us
Yes.
into the word of the day. What do we have for the people today?
All right, y'all. So y'all know this is what we do always at the Casa. We do the word of the day. And our word of the day is an eye for an eye will only make the world go blind. So we just going round robin this. Um, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna
Go
go
ahead.
first on this
Go
one.
ahead. Get them.
Man, when I think of an eye for an eye, I think of retaliation. So
Mm.
I think of being offended and then offending back
Oh, yeah.
because that's how you feel you need to repay someone who does that to you. And so while I understand the sentiment of wanting to get back at or um, get justice for, this quote is telling us that that actually doesn't give us the justice that we're looking for.
Mm-mm.
It actually masks the true healing that is really needed in the situation when someone blatantly offends you. And an eye for an eye is quick. It's you did it to me, same. I'm gonna keep the same energy. I'm gonna give it back to you, right? And I think when we apply a slow and steady approach, which is a lot of what we talk about on the podcast, it's less quick. It's way more reflective. It's more of an internalized experience. Um, it's more of you checking in with how you feel to respond appropriately. And hopefully, in that response, it makes the world better and doesn't create more hurt people that continue to hurt other people. My perspective.
Okay, y'all see how she back. Am I allowed to steal? Is this sports or this
You
podcast?
cannot steal,
Why
okay?
can't I
You have
steal?
a great perspective. Well, you can steal. You can steal.
But that
You
one
know
was
what
so good. I almost lit a candle. I just can't reach the candle.
you want.
The whole moment. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try to tackle this. And then we gonna have the professional, okay, therapist in the house.
Okay.
Just give us where we need to go. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. I'm gonna take it from a spiritual. God says that revenge is His. Now, it doesn't mean that you allow yourself to be a doormat for anybody. I said anybody, regardless of how you respect them, in love with them, family to them, whatever. But what I'm learning is it's just less stress sometimes to take your hand off of trying to go after something you lost. Whether it was taken and that's how you lost it, or you lost it because of your choices. I got to tell you, as I get older, I am loving, let it go. Maybe it's time to upgrade. Maybe it's time to do something a little different. I wouldn't say that that was me 5 years ago. So we're talking about prior to pandemic stress. I'm a go-getter. You took that blatantly from me. Oh, I'm finna get that back. Not anymore. So this eye for an eye for me is very reserved now. Where before, oh, it was open field, let's go. And now, no, it's reserved. It's very reserved. I can take more offenses now and be like, all right, that just means I should not connect to that situation or engage. And then now it's dialed down to very few things that I'm like, okay, no, that one I've got to fight for. So, yeah, so I would say that I was blind before, right? I think I was more blind than some of the other people that I thought was blind. I think I was blind, and now I can say my eyes are opening. I'm not saying they're fully open because there's a lot more stuff I've got to learn, but that's what that says to me. Okay, Miss Sams, let's go.
Yeah.
Anna, let us know what you think.
So I would say that to me, okay, my take is a bit different in that to me there's no better revenge than living your best life and living it for you. And so I think, I'm a big Beyonce fan. I'm listening to her album on repeat, but I think to take it from one of her previous albums where she mentions that she twirls on her haters, it's not because she's taking an eye for an eye, but it is because she's living her best life, doing what's best for her, and is leveling up in all of the ways, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And so to me personally, rather than focusing on an eye for an eye, focusing on what nourishes you, what nourishes your community, what nourishes the people who you surround yourself with. Because, you know, like there's no need to take revenge. There are natural consequences in life. And so that's not yours to carry.
Ooh, that is not yours to
Therapy
carry.
has begun.
That's your stuff, not mine.
Right. Miss Sally gonna need a flashlight like open for therapy. That was good. Oh my, that just humbled my whole little self, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It just humbled me. I'm like, oh, okay, yes, ma'am.
I love that. Well, Anna, it is great having you with us today. I love how we're just already vibing. We're already getting the conversation started. I think our listeners need to know, who is Anastasia Sam? What does she do? What does she like to do? Who does she show up as in this world and in her business?
Yes. Well, so yes, I'm. My name is Anastasia Sams, or I go by Anna for short, and I'm the founder and CEO of Healing Works. And so, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and licensed professional counselor for those letters behind the name. And so a lot of my focus is helping folks work through intergenerational trauma. And build healthier and happier relationships. And in terms of what I like to do for fun, I love music, as you can tell. So big music person. I love to read. I like to balance my reading with one, like I call it my fun book, so my fiction book, and then my usually a book that's about Black history, African history, my nonfiction books. And I love tennis. So
I love that.
yeah.
Tell us about what started Healing Works. What birthed that out of you? What did you see a need for that brought that to light?
Yeah, I think my hope after doing my program, my graduate program, was always to own a private practice. But I think that my vision for Healing Works was really birthed during the pandemic in 2020, because I was in a space where I was one of the only Black therapists at the practice that I was working at, and was consistently getting requests for, and a Black couples therapist too. So getting a lot of requests, and felt like I was unable to sort of hold, because I'm only one person, and so my days were full, and I would feel bad, having a full schedule and not being able to take on more clients. And I realized that I am, as one person, am not meant to heal the community on my own. There are a lot of amazing Black therapists out in the community, and so I wanted to create a space that feels safe both for the therapists, for Black therapists, and for clients as well. So a space for collective healing. And so Healing Works was born because because I believe that healing works, and we're doing healing work. So
Right.
yeah.
So who do you have on your team helping? As you said, you realized that as much as you brought to the table, you needed other people around the table to sort of set the feast with you to feed the community in therapy. So talk to us about building the team, and how did you do that? And even though that was important, when you were building the team, what were you looking for? Who were you looking to join?
Yeah, so I think in building the team, so there are a few pieces. So I will say that two folks who are behind the scenes, who I think are very important, are the members of our team. One who does more of the, I would call her like a chief wellness officer, basically, who just helps with, she helps with social media engagement and that type of thing, but also helps with creating systems for clients and client care, and our billing specialist person too. So I would say, because our billing person has done a lot behind the scenes too, to make sure that clients are getting, their needs met. So I have to give a special shout out to them first. And then I would say, in terms of clinicians, really looking for clinicians who are passionate about serving the Black community. And so we have, I believe, 5 clinicians at this point who are all passionate about working with couples, serving the Black community. A lot of work being done with perinatal mental health care, which is also super important, and I think just helping folks who are dealing with anxiety, depression, family conflict, or intergenerational trauma as it shows up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think it's powerful that you knew your limits in some ways, so that I have so much giftings, but it's, if in order for us to effectively get this out, we need to kind of let other people shine in where they're strong as well. Can you speak to that specific, just that way of doing things, especially in our community as Black women, how important it is to share space and not keep for yourself.
Ooh,
For
that's good
sure.
when this sounds. Woo, go ahead.
Yeah, it makes me think of the word, my favorite word probably of this year and maybe every year going forward is abundance. And
Ooh,
so
come on.
I'm
Come on,
just like,
somebody. That's my word too.
right? I'm like,
It is.
I think that's just gonna be my favorite word from now on.
It is.
I'm like, there's abundance, to be had, and I honestly think that abundance is our birthright, as a people. And so I think that there's room for everyone. And I do think about, like, before our people were colonized, that's a lot of how we operated. There was room for everyone, and we did things together. And so I think it's so important, because for me there's certain things that I may specialize in. Like right now my focus is more premarital work.
Mhm.
And then I like working with both Black men and Black women individually, like working through self-esteem issues and that type of thing. But there are folks on my team, one therapist who works with intercultural couples, and so she can, really balance, like, the experience of, someone who is like a couple where maybe one person is African and one person is American. They're both
Mhm.
Black and they have different cultures, and navigating that. And then, another person on my team who she focuses on the unique challenges of interracial couples. And so
Mhm.
that's really her gifting.
Hmm.
And then a couple who do focus on that perinatal aspect, which, like, is their gifting. And so to me, we're so much better together, because those are things that, I could try to do, but I wouldn't be as effective if I'm trying to do all that on my
Yeah,
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
great though. And one of the reasons why we try to make this correlation is that we see the competition in the world within certain cultures. So yeah, we've got the same skin tone, but because we are in different environments, we think like there's not enough to go around, whatever that might be, whether that's money, gifts, talents, like
Yeah.
whatever experiences, like even the word abundance, right? For everyone is slightly different. So we feel like abundance is not enough, right? So everyone's grabbing. So the fact that you would find wisdom in sharing your vision, your space, with someone else, understanding that you could be that much more effective by allowing them to run their race. And then it's just all a big part of the whole race anyway. So
Right.
I'm not gonna run every lap that they give me, because then I'm gonna be too tired to even be any good at the end. So so we really do like that. Um, as I listen to you, if you're okay with this, so prior to going and doing the studies and getting the degree, was there a personal story that said, this is the track that I need to run on? This is the next level of my life. Was there a personal story, or just did you always know as a kid you were going to help people with these issues?
Are you talking to your teddy bears? Like, hey, you know what? Let me tell
Right.
you.
How do
Let
you
me tell you
feel?
about your life.
Right. It's possible. Some people do it like that for real. Their teddy bears, their dolls, man, they have a whole practice in the bedroom. You're like, oh, okay. You be like, okay, 8-year-old Susie, you gonna do
Right. The
the same.
copay will be $45, please. I just feel like
Right.
Right.
You can put that in my piggy bank. You can direct deposit
Exactly.
it.
Listen, these are the girls and boys that are being born. They're coming to own the world. They're running it, right? They're
Oh
not
yeah.
gonna
They're
work.
not playing games.
not at all.
So what was
Yeah.
your personal shift or thing that says, yeah, this is what I want to do, and so I'm going to go study and be one of the best?
Yeah. So originally before, so when I was younger, I wanted to be an educator, mainly because my grandmother was an educator. And so I, held a lot of respect for that. And then that evolved to wanting to do law. And so I was fascinated by law. I had, I, entered into college pre-law, but my college didn't have an official pre-law program. And so the idea was to major in something and then, basically take some pre-law courses and then apply for law school. And I was like, okay. And so I ended up majoring in psychology. And before that, I did do an internship at my high school, which was really great, but with a local law firm. And I always saw myself in the office of the family lawyer. So because it was a small town, so it was like a corporate lawyer, but not, and then a family lawyer, and then there's another type of lawyer in there, and those are basically all the lawyers in the town. But
two lawyers.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
two lawyers. So I was always in his office, because he'd be sharing like, yeah, there are things that could have prevented this. And I was fascinated by the stories. And then I think in my own personal life, I didn't have that many examples of what a healthy marriage looks like. But I just always believed in Black love. And so,
Say that.
right, I just did. And so I think that in college, after in majoring in psychology, I started having more and more courses that just revealed to me like, oh, this is my path. I actually want to be a beacon of healing for the Black community, and especially for especially for couples. So yeah,
That is
Black love is
beautiful.
good.
Oh, we believe in it. We believe in it. Amen.
Yeah, it's bigger than good, but we gonna behave. Just in case your children listen.
Anna, I think that is amazing. I mean, I think that is so, so great. Your passion and your pursuit, and which kind of just align to where you are right now. And I know in the Black community specifically, therapy ain't our first choice all the time. It is becoming more and more of an option. Thank God. We are looking to healing in more ways than just a friend, right? We are looking for professional help. So I love that we are doing that. But some of the things that still persist in our culture, some of these phrases, I'm gonna read some of these phrases to you, okay? And you tell me if you've heard them.
Okay.
And then you just demystify some of this for us, right? Okay. So ain't nothing wrong with me. If I go to that therapist, they're gonna be biased. They're gonna take your side. I'm coming in there. I got my points because I'm gonna defend myself, okay? And they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to hear what I have to say. Can you tell us what is therapy not? What is it not? Maybe that will clarify what it actually is.
Yeah, so therapy is not something that you do because something's wrong with you. It's like when you go to the doctor, it's help. Well, I need to do better at going to the doctor, but the idea is preventative care. You go for checkups. Same with the dentist, you go for your cleaning. And so that's what therapy is it's not because there's a problem. It's just check-ins, and also just a space to, if there are things that need healing, a space to heal those things, but not because there's a problem with you or something's wrong with you, but because what we want to do is create space for you to live your fullest life, and have that word abundance, in every area. And then I think in terms of couples, like what therapy is not is, and what I am not is a referee to say, like,
right,
you're wrong, flag on the play. Right, that's not me. For couples therapy, our client is the relationship. That is our client. And so what we are doing, everything we're doing is in service of that relationship, again, to experience the fullness that, everyone is deserving of. And so, yeah. And then also, with that last part, we do want to hear. This is a place where what we want is for you to feel like, okay, if I don't have any other place, I know that in therapy, I feel seen, I feel heard, and I feel like my emotions are even held. So,
Mm,
yeah.
Never heard it
beautiful.
like that. It's, it's so cool.
Warm and
Like,
tingly
Lord,
inside. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just don't. You feel a
That's
little
the
calm.
hope.
I feel like a little calmer and everything. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
it's very loving.
Mhm.
That
Exactly. Yes.
definition of it, and I'm not quite sure I've ever heard it that way. Wow, that's big. What
Yeah.
is your definition? Because you named it healing works because healing works, but healing is something that word is used in for those who normally are in a spiritual or religious setting.
Mhm.
When you use it in your practice, what does that mean? Healing.
Yeah. I think well, I would say it means something different for everyone, but really the hope is that, there are things, whether it's trauma or just past experiences of, either intentionally or intentionally caused harm that then, a lot of times have to be they can affect then the way that we are, the way that we view ourselves, the way that we are or interact with, um, spouses, other loved ones, friends, family. And so the hope then, the hope would be that healing, finding those wounds and where they're at, and really giving them the attention that they need in order to, be healed, whether it's learning how to communicate emotions, and learning that vulnerability, especially in the sacred space of a marriage or friendships, is good and safe. And that provides more spaces to feel seen where maybe growing up you didn't feel seen.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, really that healing is sort of whatever past experiences that may have caused harm, giving those the attention that they need um, to, yeah, heal.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
A
Interesting.
lot
It
of
sounds. Go ahead.
yeah, Anna, a lot of I personally partake in therapy, and it has changed my life uh drastically in a lot of ways. One thing I do honor about the experience is the voice been um I've had this voice, but my therapist helped me to uncover my voice, right? To let me know that I can make my decisions, and no one, it doesn't have to come from an external source. It's in me, right? Um, so I know that for some people, they're coming to therapy sometimes with this expectation that I'm going to get answers from someone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be told what to do. And in a lot of my experiences with my therapist, she's like, well, what do you think? Right? Like she, passed it back to me. I'm like, well, yeah, right. And but she's given me space and time to really come to those, uh, to assist me and come to the answers. So what I see as powerful about therapy is this ability for safety so that you can reconnect with agency again. You can reconnect with choice and decision making. And so, how do you kind of foster that in your own practice? And maybe you can tell us about some of the importance of giving someone permission to experience their agency again, or something like that.
Yes. Well, also, I love that your therapist has helped you uncover your voice because I think that's beautiful and so important. And I think, especially as Black folks, especially in this country specifically, all of that was stolen from us,
Mm,
Yeah.
like agency, And so I think that reclaiming it is powerful, and that word healing again, both for our generations and for the generations that have come before us, and so I think for me, a lot of what that looks like is focusing on embodiment, because I think one, between our history in this country and the way that the US continues to be in terms of capitalism and go, 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 hustle culture, all of
Mhm.
those things, it's very much designed to keep us disembodied. And so we're disconnected from ourselves, our mind, our body, our emotions, our spirit, even. And so what I like to do is kind of create space for folks, and it looks different, whether it's spending time in nature or taking time to really listen and honor your gut intuition, and what that looks like, but finding ways to sort of reconnect with your body and all
Mhm.
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Powerful.
means I'm buying my treadmill. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't like the treadmill because I want to go outside and walk, but I guess
Yeah.
the weather's not cooperating.
Yeah, it's snowing here today.
Right. So it's like
Yeah.
reconnection in whatever way that speaks to that person is critical, is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. So, so it's not good to dismiss certain repetitive thought that says, I can help you, I can help us, we can get better. And sometimes we tend to say, I don't think I need to do that. And it's an internal conversation that's happening. And sometimes we mute that conversation. I think, yeah, all right, I got work to do.
Yeah. Well, and even a small piece of that is just validating your own emotional experience, because
Mhm.
sometimes, and especially like for some folks, we're taught to not to value that, like keep it moving, it's okay. And some of that is born out of trauma from generations past, where that was the only way of being, was survival.
Yeah.
And so part of it now is okay, I don't actually have to be in survival mode. So if I'm feeling sad, it's okay to feel sad. So what is it that I need from myself to show up for myself today, knowing that I'm sad? Maybe I just need, I'm a big tea drinker, so it might be, just a warm cup of tea and a good
Mhm.
book and just taking it slow. But things
Mhm.
like that um, connect you to yourself instead of just trying to push through and then burning out.
Ooh, she gonna make me
Yeah.
go around hugging everybody in the community. I
She
have
told me
therapy.
to get what I need. I need
All right, I have therapy. Why?
Oh my goodness. No, that's yeah, meeting your needs and just telling yourself that your needs are they're within you. You have the ability in your present life to meet the needs that you have. I think there is a in survival, there's some aspects of we talk about the inner child too on the podcast.
Yeah.
There's aspects of not remembering that you're the parent of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so there is still this like, I will be excommunicated from community if I don't show up like this, right?
Mhm.
Like if I don't live in this survival mode, my livelihood, my security is at risk. But tell us how healing that inner child correlates with being a thriving person now. Like I'm a
Ooh,
thriving person. I'm not surviving anymore. Like tell us how
Mhm.
healing
Oh
that is
yeah,
going to connect.
you've been
100%.
served. What? She said, I'm a thriving now. Okay. Let me
Thrive,
know.
okay?
We need a banner. Miss Sounds is a thriving person now.
I
Y'all got that?
thrive.
Yes,
Okay. Dirt.
yes.
All who did not believe in her. Y'all got
You heard me. I'm
Right.
thriving, baby. Okay.
Yes.
it.
Yes. I think, healing that inner child is essential, because that inner child, there are things that inner child needed that they didn't get. And so until they get those needs met, they're going to keep showing up asking for those needs. And that's going to show up in so many different ways. whether it's how you can, kind of like how you communicate with your spouse, how you treat yourself. And so I think that is essential. But then what that does is giving that inner child the voice and the space that they need to heal. It really does open you up for being able then to, like, to live your life for you, and not in like an individualistic way, but in a way where what you're doing is you're honoring your spirit, you're honoring your community and how you live. And so that might mean that you set different boundaries, and that in setting those boundaries, that allows you to show up as your fullest self for everyone, including yourself.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and even with that, I think the setting boundaries it's not something that you would set for someone else to say, oh, this is my boundary, don't cross it. These are things that I'm doing, like only I can hold myself accountable to my boundaries. But
Yeah.
it offers space for you to exist and to move and to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question if you're able to answer. What is the number one childhood trauma that you hear repeatedly, regardless of if it's individual, premarital, and or couple therapy? Is there one that just that thing show up? Everybody, most people are like, yep, that was the one that got me stuck or still hurts me today.
I would say the thing that I probably would see the most is, honestly, when a parent has not been attuned to their child's emotional needs when they were young.
Mm.
And that is the one, because I think there are all kinds of traumas that, that I've seen people have. But I would say, in terms of that, with what you're asking, like, yeah, for clients who and I would take it a step further, where their parents were not only just not attuned to their needs, but were also dismissive of their needs and their emotions.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
we gotta dig there for a minute because okay, Miss Anna's gonna have to come back and do a part two, like
Yeah.
Totally.
at
Because
another time because
Anna, you
we're supposed to
just
stop here, but we're gonna finish
Yeah.
this. We have to dig into that, and we have other questions for the next part two, whenever that is.
Yeah, of course.
Sometime in
I'd love
May, because this is a big one. Here's why I'm gonna put a plug here, and Miss Sound will know where I'm going with this. I'm shocked. And so I'm gonna be PG-13 because that's how we keep it, just in case any kids listen in. I really thought that abuse that's not emotional was gonna be your answer.
Mm.
So
mm.
I am stunned. This is me being stunned, like for real, transparent, stunned, because when you listen outside in the social media world, the news world, what seems to make the headlines is a child being abused, not emotionally. That's not the number one. That's along the journey, but the number one is a physical type of abuse that has happened. And then they talk about the psychological, the emotional, then the mental illnesses that have showed up as so now you who are in the field treating people, different backgrounds, grown folks, is saying to me that emotional trauma and or abuse that includes being dismissed and also not being taken care of, you as an individual not being seen, is a repetitive one that's as big as the physical one that we thought was the culprit all along. We thought that was the biggest culprit in the room. I mean, Miss Towns, help me. I'm just like
Ooh,
baffled right now.
it's more insidious. The other one is a little bit more insidious.
Right.
It's tied into a lot of the generational trauma that come with culture sometimes too. So it feels normal, and it's not until you grow up and you're like, oh,
Mhm.
that was not the way I was supposed to be spoken to, or
Right.
wow, I was invisible.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
shocked right
Absolutely.
now, like
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have an example? I just need the audience before we close out the conversation. What's an example of a dismissive response that can be emotionally abusive? I just want to know, because I got work to do. I got to get my life together. Y'all know I'm West Indian, and I got to check my list. I want off that list. Take me out of that club. So tell me, Miss Anna, am I in the wrong club?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, cut out
Well,
that black card. I don't want to even come in the game. Like, tell me an
so
example.
I mean, I think it can be the example that came to mind is, thinking about, so like for, especially in our community, like a young Black boy who's a child, comes to you crying, because they got hurt. And it's like, man up, stop crying, man up.
Guilty.
That, yes,
Oh,
things like that, because no, this is a child who's learning how to be in this world, and the world already is going to tell that child who they should and shouldn't be as a Black man, especially in this country. And so, and they're not even a man yet, they're a child. And so
mm,
like what they need is nurturing in that moment of like, oh my gosh, oh, are you feeling sad? What happened? Tell me what happened, and nurturing their spirit. And I think um, and so I think similarly, like, for like a little Black girl, like, same thing, coming to you crying, stop it, you need to be strong, go back out there, like anything like that, like those things over time add up. And what they say is, oh, okay, my emotions, I need to ignore them, or my emotions don't matter, or when I'm sad, I can't talk to anyone about it. I have to hold that in. And that happening over time creates, so many different issues in adulthood um, that affect the individual and the relationships as well.
I'll book a session.
Yeah.
I've said both of those. Like, I'm being real. I've said both of those. Now I have given more information. I didn't just say it and not give more information, but I'm still guilty. I'm just saying. Wow.
Can
Okay.
I ask one more question though? Just a wrap,
Yeah,
just
of course.
because what Azali just said is probably what I think a lot of our listeners might even say, oh, I said that before. I said that before. Tell us the importance of self-love in this growth and change and transformation rather than self-punishment, because you might have said it before. Like, tell us about that.
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. I would say showing yourself compassion, because the reality is that a lot of that, you mentioned being West Indian, like, so part of that is like there's generational trauma in there, and it comes from this space of protection, because you know what that child is going to face, especially in this country.
Yeah.
And so I think for you, showing yourself compassion of like, oh, like, not to bring it back to Beyonce, but she has a song on her
It's
album.
all right. Beyonce is cool. We're good.
Talk about Queen Bee. Tell us what she said.
She has a song on her new album called Protector. And that's really what you are as a parent. And so sometimes that's how that comes out. And so I think for you, not to punish yourself and not to say, oh no, I've caused irreparable damage. It's not irreparable. Like, there's always hope. And I think there's always room to grow and say, oh, you know, I'm learning myself how to honor my own emotions. I want to honor yours. So I'm gonna try to show up differently, and I'm gonna make mistakes because we're imperfect. And so, but even letting those imperfections show and letting, children know like imperfections are part of the human experience is a beautiful thing. And so I think, with those things, knowing that one, there's always room to grow and to show yourself compassion, because likely you're repeating, what, how your parents were with you, and
For all the teachings, but
yes.
I'm on by that one. Yes, ma'am. I might have pulled that out 10, okay, 100 times already. Sorry.
Vulnerability. I love
right.
it.
You gotta be real. I was gonna take a 0 off Miss Sound, but
I did about
but
1.5
if somebody paying me, I don't want
200
them to
times.
lose the zeros. I'm gonna just be truthful.
Right.
It's like, sir,
Not with
your
the
invoice was
bag.
$1,000, not 100.
Oh.
We just gonna make sure. Wow, I'm wow. Okay, I'm gonna
Man.
keep working on it. I'm doing better than I think, but the fact that I've said it bothers me a bit. But it's okay. I'm gonna schedule my session.
Yeah, and it's okay too, because all we can do is carry the torch forward, because the generations behind us did so much for us, and there's always things that, maybe could have been done better, but that's always going to be the case. And so all we're doing is carrying the torch forward. And so, like that in and of itself is beautiful. So self-compassion.
I'm gonna call Miss
Love this.
Sounds and she's gonna have to inspire me to the self-compassion.
Remember, she said self-compassion.
Right.
Miss Sounds, anything else before we close up? We will not be doing Rise and Fall today. When we bring Miss Anna back, we'll do the Rise and Fall. And as you guys know, we're allowed to change it up because personal development is change. Okay, we can just flow differently depending on who we're speaking with. But Miss Sounds, anything else? Any other question or reflection you wanna? Ooh,
man,
this
Anna,
was so good.
You're a breath of fresh air. You are
Yeah,
a breath of
thank
fresh
you.
air. You are speaking my language. You're speaking my love language. You speak Azali's love. Like, we are here really being transformed, okay? On these conversations. And I just want to just tell you, Black girl to Black girl, Black woman to Black woman, I see what you're doing out there.
Oh,
I
thank
see you, even in this short conversation that we've had. I see the impact. I see the space you're making for other women of color to shine. And I applaud that. I celebrate you, champion you, and thank you for being with us. And I'm sure our listeners are really grateful to hear what you have said. So good.
Oh my gosh, it was really good. And I just feel really calm. I don't know what's going on. I really feel like I went to a women's retreat and
I mean,
breathing better and everything like that. Oh gosh.
I took deep breaths and I was like, I don't even know breathing ever.
I wasn't
How did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you doing to us?
It was so good because it was easy to have the conversation. It was transparent and it was uplifting at the same time. And that's pretty cool. That's sort of how you want the day to run.
And that's how you want therapy to feel.
Ooh, come on. Book her now. Okay.
Listen, so risers, we're going to have Miss Anna come back in the month of May, which is all about Mother's Day and stuff. So we're going to have her come back and get us back into this space. And she's going to share more. There is more to talk about. I want you guys to share this. When we put this live, I need you. Share it. Even if you think someone's not going to click or subscribe, share it with them anyway. All right. We need to get the numbers up. We need to get to 120 subscribers by the end of this month of April. This one right here, if you've never shared nothing else, this is the one. I'm asking you guys, so we don't come out here to ask unless we feel that it's very important. Get it out to our communities, get it out to every person that you know, and we don't let God tell them if they need to subscribe or not, but you got to send the word out. You understand? Text, put it on your social media. Let's go. Therapy is important. We need it. You can't handle everything by yourself. I want you to stop that madness right now. Like, for real. No, sit down. Stop the madness. If you can get access to help, choose the help. Choose the help, because we need you to level up in every aspect so you can do what you do and bring yourself to a table like this.
Yes.
In your community. Create your own table and get the right people around that. But make sure you're good too. You understand what I mean? You can't connect the dots in your community and then you're off. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. So get what you need, do what you need to do. Create a table and a space that you can bring awesome people like Miss Anna to have these necessary conversations. You guys know we love you guys. Like we really, really, we don't say that word easily. So y'all doing something right. We love y'all.
Absolutely. Yes.
We love y'all. We want you to stay edified, stay empowered. Keep your head up. I said it. Oh, you don't have nothing to be happy about? Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep walking. Keep doing what you do because we need you to do it. We can't do it all for you, but we can tell you to do it. We want you to have a brilliant day. Make sure you come back. Do your homework before you get here. And let us all level up together.
And Anna, can you just tell us where can they find you? Where can they find your business?
Yes.
Where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me at healingworks.co. So it's healingworks.co. You can go to the website, take a look, see what we're all about, and book a session with one of our therapists, especially for the calm feeling that we talked about today.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we
yes,
all want
yes,
that.
yes. We seeking that, girl. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Man. All right, guys. So we just say, have a wonderful, amazing day and continue to join us on this journey of growth, resilience, and celebration. All right, y'all. Have a great
Remember
and
to raise
wonderful
your
day.
voices. Don't forget, because Miss Sound is going to get you. No. She's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah. I'm coming. No, because I'm thriving over here. So,
Yeah. Okay, raise your
Yes,
voices
raise
to
your voice.
edify, not to pull down. We love y'all. Have a
Love you.
great day. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.